Well, hello there. Not gonna lie, deciding to tackle this one turned out to be a challenge. Spider-Man appeared in hundreds and hundreds of video games, and they have all mostly been decent. So I decided to start from the very bottom. I picked mobile games, and holy cow, there's a lot here too, alright? Today we're playing through every single mobile game about Spider-Man ever released. We'll have single-player adventures, live service, runners, and a lot more. So get excited! And at the very end, I will also go over how I played some of these games, in case you want to try them too nowadays. If you enjoyed this type of content, I'd really appreciate your like and subscription. Without any more delay, let's start. And as you might have guessed, first up we're starting with a barrage of Java games. And I'm not gonna lie, they are all very similar, so I'll be going through them a bit quicker than some of the bigger titles. The first game I could dig up goes all the way back to 2003 and is simply titled Spider-Man. Spidey spawns into the city and is able to swing around, punch enemies, and web them up. The goal is to go through the level, defeat all the thugs, score as many points as possible, and then reach the final boss, Green Goblin, who is particularly annoying. And that's about it. The whole game takes like 20 minutes, and I suppose was alright for the time. Next up we have Spider-Man vs. Doc Ock, and we've already got a runner here. Spidey runs from left to right, shoots webs, and evades obstacles. And on the second level we run forward and have to evade trains and jump up. In the end we web up Doc Ock in like 2 minutes and we're done. Once again very small experience and not particularly interesting. In just a year though, things get a little more spicy as we're diving into the Ultimate Spider-Man. We get a choice to play as either Venom or Spider-Man and play their campaigns separately. Spidey needs to save as many people as possible on the map while finding Venom and taking him down through different levels, while Venom needs to eat as many people as possible to keep his health up and beat Spider-Man in return. Both characters can swing around, jump, and attack. Very simple, but we're seeing some progression, alright? Just a few months later, we get another game called Spider-Man Webslinger, and it's just a one-click runner where you time press 5 at the right time to keep on swinging. It gets a little harder in higher levels when you start fighting bosses, but overall just super boring. And right when I was about to completely give up on Java Spider-Man, we get Spider-Man 3, and I got pulled back immediately. The animations are smooth, gameplay is somewhat polished for a Java game, we finally have a story which spans over 14 levels, that briefly goes over the original movie, and overall the game actually feels decent for once. The plot starts with Spidey being on his way to meet MJ. He then gets attacked and takes care of New Goblin. Immediately after that the black suit takes over and he uses it to fuel his rage and take care of a bunch of thugs while ruining Eddie Brock's life. Classic Spider-Man 3 story. You get to fight Sandman in later levels and also fight Venom at the very last level, once the suit is off. And yeah, maybe the battles are a bit anticlimactic if you watch the actual movies, but this was a step up in Java Spider-Man gaming for sure. Once again we have a story, multiple new attacks, somewhat neat controls, and overall, this is a good Java game. But would I recommend playing it nowadays? I'd have to say hold off, we've got something a little better. In 2009, we've got the biggest step up in Spider-Man Java games, Spider-Man Toxic City. It has full detailed story, character progression and upgrades, multiple punching variations and even air combos. This without a doubt was the best Spider-Man game on mobile at the time and everyone wanted to play it. The plot takes heavy inspiration from the Ultimate Universe, where Green Goblin is basically a mini Hulk, and he ends up kidnapping people to run experiments on them and assemble his own superior race basically, so Spider-Man has to step up and stop him. Along the way we take care of pretty much the entire Sinister Six, fighting Shocker, Rhino, Electro, and of course Gobby himself. And playing this game right now in 2025, I did not feel like stopping, which is a testament to how well it holds. The game is snappy, Spider-Man auto-locks on enemies when near them so you don't miss, like in most beat-em-ups at the time, and the world is filled with collectibles, so you actually have some incentive to explore it. This is the first game I can confidently recommend as a good Spider-Man experience, especially for Javas. And as you may know, there's no slowing down as next year we get a freaking juggernaut of gaming at the time. Not for Java anymore. That ship is beginning to sail, but for iOS and Android. Spider-Man Total Mayhem was the first game I've played that gave me a faraway feel of a console experience. We've got multiple fighting combos to perform with some webbing attacks in between. There's a dodge button that can be timed right before an attack, Arkham style. Spider-Man feels quick, strong, evasive, and the plot doesn't disappoint either. I have to admit, it's a bit of a copy from the Toxic City, Basically, Green Goblin is here again, the ultimate version, and he's assembling his Sinister Six and a bunch of villains to like destroy the world and stuff, but that's not a big deal. Overall, this game is good, and people who still keep it on their device and have not uninstalled it yet are certainly lucky, since the game is off the store now. You cannot even get it back if you purchased it before, which is a bit sad. I personally had to go through a lot of mumbo jumbo to get it working again. But despite everything, I can definitely recommend this alongside Toxic City, as that game's bigger brother. Time to move on to the big boys, and the last movie adaptations we got with Spider-Man. I am of course talking about the amazing Spider-Man based on Andrew Garfield movies.
My Uncle Ben always told me that with great power comes great responsibility. Now I've dedicated my life to protecting the defenseless and stopping those who would do them harm. I am the Amazing Spider-Man.
Now this game is a bit silly, especially playing this right after Total Mayhem. It takes the exact formula of Total Mayhem and puts it into an open world. And I mean quite literally. The attack animations, evading, webbing up, it's all exactly the same animations and hitboxes as in Total Mayhem. But now we have an entire Manhattan where we can swing around and go on various missions, aka console style. Spider-Man's flying speed feels alright, not too fast and not too slow. The map is decently sized for a mobile release, and overall you feel like Spider-Man here, and that's what matters. Now on top of basic kit from Total Mayhem, we do get multiple upgrades that expand Spidey's moveset quite a bit, as well as upgrades to health, flying, damage, etc. The game seems somewhat of a good experience right now, but I remember when playing this as a kid, at the time, I could never actually finish it and dropped it for some reason unlike the previous two. And I think I can see why now. The game is simply kinda boring. It tries to seem large and really works to spread what they have as much as possible, but most missions legit take 5 to 6 minutes, with a lot of them being protection missions, where you literally just stand for 5 minutes and fight, hear this, the exact same type of enemy. I've had multiple missions like this where I just fight the exact same model over and over and over. There's very little variation to enemy types, and in the first 30 minutes I've played this game, all I experienced was a very bare bones mission session, where I did the exact same thing. While on Total Mayhem, at this time I was already finishing my second boss, Rhino, and fought like 5 types of enemies by now. So despite seeming like a cool new kid on the block that has a whole open world, I was never impressed by this game, and I can see why, so I cannot recommend it. Oh, and the guy sounds like a total goofball.
Thanks. Well...
But of course, transportation is just one of the many services that I provide.
Now as you may guess, a couple years later we get Amazing Spider-Man 2, and this game, unlike the first one, is a very different story. If the first one took the basis of Total Mayhem and simply put it into an open world, the sequel takes the open world from the first game and reinvents Spider-Man himself completely. We have a whole new fighting style for Spidey with new animations, new upgrades, and overall a fresh feel to play as Spider-Man. The city is full of events to do, and it feels like you can never rest because the criminal activity is happening everywhere. There are multiple new types of enemies straight from the get-go, and full-on aerial combat on mobile. The game has a plot following the movie of course, but it expands on it with additional enemies, such as Kraven and his goons. And I don't know about you, but this is actually looking like a decent game for mobile. I've had my fun here and I think I'll continue playing in my spare time. The only sad part is the fact that the best costumes are paywalled, and you literally cannot acquire them anymore because the game is fully offline and you cannot give them your money. But you are still able to download it if you have it in your App Store purchase history. Oh, and one more thing. This game is the earliest place I could find where Yuri Lowenthal voiced Spider-Man. Quite a bit before PS4 game, by the way.
This is definitely more than a utilities problem. I need to figure out why this is happening and who's behind it. Stand back, everyone. It looks like it's going to blow.
Now, for transparency's sake, both movies also got Java versions of these games that are surprisingly well made for Java, but at this point in time I'm sure most people already have at least an Android phone, so I did not play their Java versions that much. All I can say is that they take the successful formula of Toxic City and remake the game in that image as much as they can, but Toxic City is still ways better in my opinion. Alright, with tie-ins out of the way, it's time to dive into the game I'm sure a lot of people recognize. The game that made me work on this video, in fact. You see, the other day I was scrolling through app purchase history to see if there are any cool apps I can download again, and to my surprise, Spider-Man Unlimited was there, ready to download. And just when I thought it will not launch because the servers are down or something, it launched and played well. This game was the runner at the time. The game that started Spider-Verse before the Spider-Verse. The game that always stood 10 heads above Subway Surfer in my mind. This was the Spider-Man game, alright. It had pretty much an unlimited amount of Spider people that could be recruited throughout years and years. The game has a full story mode where Spidey takes on the villains from multiple different dimensions, all while running non-stop and constantly changing locations. And it can still be played right now if you got it in the past. Sadly, I cannot find a way how to recruit any new Spider-Man past the tutorial stage, but I can play through the entire story and go for the unlimited mode on top of that. And quite honestly, I love it. I know lots of people miss this game, and I hope one day Marvel puts it back online because it certainly can get popular again. This is my biased fourth recommendation. The game also had a Java clone called Spider-Man Ultimate Power, which is a decent game if you have no other options, and I played it for a little bit, but quite honestly Unlimited is still miles better, so no point in stopping here for long. And with that, we're finally entering modern age. And while Wallcrawler does not have any standalone games right now, he does appear in every single live servers game, in many different forms. But I won't lie to you, they were always very meh to me. Future Fight, for starters, has so many suits, starting with Classic, going to Symbiote, going to Civil War, going to Avengers, going to Comics, going to Jesus, there is a lot. Spidey himself is a very dodgy character with plenty of iframes and AoE attacks. His ultimate tier 3 skill is being able to summon multiple spider people from different dimensions to help him, and he's doing a Bully Maguire dance while doing that. In Strike Force, Spidey is a champ who has a high chance to attack multiple enemies in one turn, bringing down their defense and stunning them with webs. Sadly, I only have a classic variant, so I can't speak for the rest. In Contest of Champions, Peter has a classic version, stealth version from Far From Home, and the best version in the game, Stark Tech from Homecoming. In all variants, he's a dodgy champ that can dish out good damage from time to time, and overall, he has always been a decent champ in the game. Stark version in particular though, is very hard to acquire, and took me weeks to grind, but he is really good. Finally, in Mystic Mayhem, the newest game out right now, Spidey is a striker who applies debuffs, can freely jump around the field, and output a lot of damage. Meh. Also locked behind a paywall unless you're very lucky. And that's about it. Let's go over my recommendations. First up, the best Java Spider-Man game, Toxic City. A genuinely great game I legit enjoyed, and definitive early Spider-Man mobile experience. Moving on to iOS and Android age, Total Mayhem is the OG experience and has a great story and controls. Definitely worth playing through at least once. And if you want a more open world experience with a more console feel to it, Amazing Spider-Man 2 is the best game for that. And finally, the game I spent the most amount of time in, Spider-Man Unlimited. My favorite runner of all time and the game that introduced me to the whole wide world of multiverse. Now as to where you can get them, Toxic City can easily be accessed on your old Java phone or a Java emulator. Some Google searching will do you well, it's pretty easy. I found mine on Reddit. For Total Mayhem, I used a guide from Diego Reviews. It perfectly explained how to launch the game on PC. It might have taken me a solid 30 minutes, but it works. For all other games, I've had them purchased on my App Store account and was able to download it again from my history. But if you don't, Diego's way will likely work for them too. All of the live service games I went over are still live and can still be downloaded right now. And that's actually about it. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate your like and subscription. Thank you for watching till the end and let me know in the comments what you want me to cover next. See you next time. Bye bye.